Shalom Akyam, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakafar, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rukwal Kadash. Also, I'd like to say double honors to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone. And finally, salutations to all of the sincere Akyam worldwide that are diligently pushing this truth and sincerity. One of the elder brothers from the London GMS camp, the brother Rukwal Yakwam, just posted this article. It reads, World News Bulletin, Israeli tanks open fire on Syrian Arab army directly. See bottom updates. Syrians returning fire. Active combat in progress. So see, right now in the Middle East, yeah, there's a war kicking off. Israel has literally just opened fire on Syria. Syria's returning the fire. It's popping off. Now what's going to happen is you have Israel, the modern day Israeli state, those fake bastard Jews, yeah, backed by Babylon, being America. You've got Syria backed by Russia. Now both of their allies, America and Russia respectively, are going to come and obviously have to step in and defend their nations. What's that going to lead to? Even more friction pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter. You see, this World War III is inevitable. Even if Russia and America don't go at it head to head, the Most High's already got the chess pieces put in place where spiritually something's going to happen, man. Whether it's going to be their allies fighting that's going to draw them out, or it's going to be the two bigger nations fighting directly. You know, it's that situation of you and the other big bully don't want to fight, but then your two friends are hyping to each other, and then they draw you into the fight because of the fact that they got a quarrel. You know, that's the spirit of these nations, man. Israel and Syria are literally gonna draw out America and Russia into battle. And it's a beautiful thing, because regardless as some of these world leaders might try, world peace is inevitable. World peace is impossible. War is inevitable. It's impossible for anything to go to plan other than what Yahweh Shai set out. And Yahweh Shai set out that Russia and America are going to go to war, pursuant to the Ezekiel the 38th chapter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a bit of this article, not the whole thing. Brothers can look this up themselves, you know, the Urim and the Thummim through the internet. I'm just going to read a bit of this and then bring out some scriptures on it. So it says, breaking code red, sirens sounding throughout northern Israel as Israeli jets begin directly bombing Syrian Arab army positions in southern Syria. Barakafar Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rukwal Kadash. Because what this means is that the fans of the flame are getting fanned even more. And it's inevitable that Russia and America are going to go to war, because America is going to come to the defense of Israel without a doubt. And that's going to trigger Russia also to defend Syria. And they're going to clash, man. They're really going to clash heads. It says, meeting has failed. Repeat meeting has failed. Putin calls emergency meeting of Russian National Security Council to discuss pending Israeli military actions. So the Russians are already active right now. They're like, yo, we need to get at Israel for what they've done. And you best believe that once they touch Israel, man, one of America's most prized assets, America's going to step in there and try and defend these Zionist Jews, man. It's only a matter of time until that World War III pops off. We're literally at the door. The apostles have been prophesying this for years. That's why one of the many reasons, of course, manifold many reasons, you got to respect the apostles. Apostles are hard on down, because these men have been out there when the prophecies seem to be quiet, man. But like Apostle Rakar now says, these prophecies are popping like popcorn, and it's serious. They're literally every other day there's a rumor of war, something, man. Man, it's a beautiful time to be alive, because now is our salvation nearer than we imagined, just like the scriptures say. I'm going to read a bit of this. It says, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, not a real Jew, is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow today, and the stakes are very high. Netanyahu is telling Putin that Israel knows Iranian assets in Syria are planning massive destructive attacks upon Israel, against which Israel needs to act now in order to prevent. Netanyahu is also telling Putin that Israel intends to launch a massive preemptive attack, and that Russia needs to stand down when this takes place, else there be war. Barakafar Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. You see, all of this is prophecy, man. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. Israeli intelligence minister Israel Katz told Ynet News that his nation has direct confirmation of Iranian intent to attack, and described yesterday's military strikes as Israel stopping them from following through. He went on to say Only our attacks today will prevent war tomorrow. See, the Most High's got these nations in that spirit of war, man. They're ready to let it go. And it's a beautiful thing. It says the stakes are terribly high, and the decisions made today may affect the entire world within hours. If Putin relents and gives Israel the golden ticket to attack, the Persians and the Arabs will view it as Russia selling out to Israel. If Russia refused to permit these massive attacks, then Israel, the US, and the West will have war on their hands. Hey, man. Hey, man. The stakes are very high right now. The decisions will be made today. The decisions made today, Salakia, will affect the entire world within hours. And that's the World War III spirit, man. Because America and the Western nations, Russia and her allies are going to come together, man, in a head-on collision in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh in the Hebrew, meaning the Most High's judgment, man. Oh man, the body language is already showing the level of tension which exists. When Putin greeted Netanyahu outside the Kremlin, there was an obligatory handshake, meaning that they had to do it. But when the two men turned to walk inside, the two men did not casually speak with each other, as is customary and normal. Moreover, Putin walked a step ahead of Netanyahu, meaning that, hey man, they're not really down with each other like that. They did the standard formalities, but really they know that their nations are at war inevitably, and they know that they're on opposite sides. Then Putin took Netanyahu to a military parade showing off the latest Russian hardware. In a speech at the parade, Putin reminded Netanyahu of the millions that died in Russia because of Jewish communism and its brutal murder starting around World War II, lasting 70 years. Hey man, at the parade in public, Putin again dissed Netanyahu by walking a couple of steps ahead of him as they were leaving the parade. The message sent by Putin to Netanyahu was clear: walk behind me, bitch. Hey man, I mean, this article goes on. It's this beautiful article that the brother posted, but I'm going to grab some scriptures on it, because really and truly, man, that World War III spirit is out there, man. Yahweh is putting it in the minds of these leaders to fight each other, and he's getting the cauldron ready. The chess pieces are being placed in the correct positions, and it's only a matter of time. But inevitably, everything's going to go to plan according to Yahweh's scripts, and you best believe that Babylon is going to fall. I'm going to start with Revelations 11 and 14, and it reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." Now, the word woe means destruction. Now, prophesied in the Bible, man, like right here, Revelations 11 and 14, the third woe is past, and the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The word woe means destruction, also synonymous with war. Now, World War I and World War II were great feats of destruction. Yeah? 1 second. World War I and World War II were great feats of destruction. But guess what? World War III is going to be the war to end all wars, man. It talks about that in Daniel's the 12th chapter. I'll grab that also if I get a minute to. But ultimately speaking, the prophecies spoke about 3 world wars, man. Yeah? And we're living in the time of the Third World War. We're coming up to it now. Albert Pike wrote about the fact that there needed to be 3 world wars, man, in order to establish a new world order. Now, he was one of the kings of Freemasonry, and he himself said that it was necessary to have 3 world wars to complete a Jewish Zionist hold upon society. And we're in the midst of that Third World War, like I keep on saying, and it's going to be spearheaded by America and Russia, man. Israel and Syria are also going to have, very significant parts to play in this. And that's why you see all of that heat in the Middle East right now. That's why you see Russia, aggressively back in Syria, and you see America trying to make strategic moves to get up in there, but not going straight up in there because they know the bears defending Syria. Honestly speaking, man, it's prophesied that the Third World War is going to come, and you best believe it, man, that it's inevitable. It's going to happen. 100% going to happen, because it's prophesied in the scriptures. In the Apocrypha, in the book of 2nd Esdras and 15, the 15th chapter, verse 5, Yahweh said, "Behold, I will bring plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." Now, there's going to be a lot of destruction in this modern day society, because people no longer fight with swords and spears. People fight with with grenades and AK-47s and snipers and fighter jets and bombs. It's going to be a war to end all wars for real. It really will be. Why is there going to be a war to end all wars? Because a lot of death needs to happen. Why? Because verse 6 says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So therefore, says the Lord Jehovah Hashem Yahushai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. What's the innocent and righteous blood, and what's the soul? Who are the souls of the just? That's talking about the Israelites, man, and furthermore the elect of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3, which we hope to be a part of, man. The elect of the Lord, the Israelites in their right mind, are constantly complaining about the state of their society, the fact that, you know, we're constantly under slavery, taxation, you know, catching hell at the hands of Esau everywhere we go, can't even drink clean water, eat clean food, suffering under the hands of wicked oppression, you know, suffering at the hands of our women, everything's completely off. Even though it's a light affliction compared to what's about to come, hey man, just for the fact that we live in a wicked world, man, consistently vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, brothers in their right mind are constantly complaining, man, constantly complaining. And therefore, says the Lord Jehovah Hashem Yahushai, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Yeah, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. The new modern day land of Egypt being America, pursuant to Revelations 11 and 8, spiritually Egypt, spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, because it carries all of the ancient symbolism and the customs of those societies, you know. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched forth arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof. That's talking about America. Egypt will mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will bring upon it. Because ultimately speaking, a lot of landmarks are going to get hit with those nukes. But America is going to be a perfect example of why you do not mess with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. You know? It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting, and hell with a fearful constellation. Everything about America, man, is going to be totally forgotten. The scripture says not even the Arabians shall pitch tent there. That land is going to be totally uninhabitable, man. All of the merchants, all of the traders that are there now are not going to be able to make deals out of that city anymore. The scripture also talks about we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. The Most High is going to literally destroy all life in Babylon, apart from the 1/3 and the 144,000, man. Honestly speaking, if you're not an Israelite, man, in his right mind, and you're in America, come on, man. Verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people, and swords in their hands. That's talking about war, man. War. When it says woe to the world, it's talking about the oikumene, the Greek word for the whole entire inhabited earth. God, there's going to be a war to end all wars, man. A war involving all of these nations upon the face of the planet earth, man. And in the midst of that, the Most High is going to return and save Israel. That's the prophecy, man. That's the movie script that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai set. Yeah. Verse 16 says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Meaning that people are not going to respect these so-called people of renown, these politicians and these police constables and these political leaders, and even the general army and the police. People are just going to be on a savage, fuck it, survival of the fittest type of vibe. And that spirit's coming right back into society today, man. It's coming back, man. You really believe it's coming back. In London, there's about, 63 stabbings plus shootings that have happened. 63 people dead since the beginning of the new year. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. But London, London, for the most part, is a fluff city, man. But the numbers are going up. People are literally starting the spirits are starting to jump on people, man. And people are out here acting crazy. When the food runs out in the supermarkets and people are out there homeless, when there's no more 999, what do you really think is going to happen, man? Things are going to amplify, and those demons are really going to come out, man. People are going to be dying by the masses, not only overseas, but also in the UK, because as I was reading that article about imminent world war and sirens going off in Israel, people are here in London and America just chilling, man, waiting to go to work the next day, doing what they're doing, having not a care in the world. But Yahweh Shemi Hawashai is going to set it in place where you people are going to suffer, man. You're really going to suffer. That World War III is going to kick off. It really is going to kick off, and it's inevitable. There's nothing you can do to prevent this, man. Barakafar Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because we've been earnestly praying and hoping for the end of this society, man, so that a righteous, more holy setup can be established. And you best believe it's nearly that time. It really is nearly that time, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. I'm going to read verse 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that he hath taken against Babylon and his purposes. The word Babylon comes from the Hebrew Babal, which means confusion. Yeah, so the Most High has taken a counsel against Babylon, modern day Babylon, because ancient Babylon, which is now modern day Iraq, no longer exists. Yeah, new modern day Babylon is America, man, the new modern day land of confusion. It goes on to say that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Sure, the Chaldeans were originally Hamites, but the Chaldeans were originally Hamites, but because it's referring to America as Babylon, it also makes a reference to the land of the Chaldeans. It says, surely the least of the flock, Salakia, it's twofold, because it's talking about the actual Babylonians of the time, but then in modern day society, where America is modern day Babylon, it applies to America. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Now, as we've been taught, man, that scripture being twofold also applies to the modern day Israeli state today, because Israel is going to draw America into a world war with Russia, man. They're doing it right now, man. They're attacking Russia's allies, being Syria, meaning that America and Russia, the so-called older brothers, man, are going to have to step in there. And Russia's going to come to Syria's defense. We already read it in the article. So you best believe that America's going to have to also do something, because they can't just leave Israel to get flattened. They've got agreements and trade and trade going on. You know, it's really going to happen pursuant to Ezekiel 38, man. The Most High is going to put hooks in Russia's jaws, man, being ancient Magog, man, and Gog, you know, and he's going to cause them to fight against America. Even if they try to resist, he's going to literally, you know, like you got a dog and your dog tries to run away from you and you pull it back by that lead. That's exactly the same spirit that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has got Russia in, man. Read Ezekiel 38, man, talking about, you know, the imminent world war, man, between Gog and Babylon. The Most High is going to put hooks in Russia's jaws, man, and draw her to war. This is all going to happen within our lifetime, man. And I say Barakah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, man, because the last two major prophecies that Apostle Tahar always mentions are the microchip and that World War III. And as you can see in that article that I just read, we're nearly there, man. Yahweh Shai told the disciples, man, that this was going to happen. And we're living in that time. Matthew 24:6 says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're not supposed to be hearing about Israel and Syria going to war and America possibly getting nuked out by Russia and think, oh shit, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive this? Because you got to have that faith, Hebrews 11:1, that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai going to redeem you, that he's going to have that mercy upon you. Also pursuant to Psalms 91, the whole chapter is good. You got to have the mentality that the Most High is going to save you from this wickedness that's going to come upon the earth. Because he prophesied it, but he also prophesied that his elect will be delivered. The scripture says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. Can you not see that there's nations fighting against nations right now? Everywhere you go, man. There's a cold war going on between America and Russia. America and China have a trade war going on. Just because it's not physical and guns ain't popping off don't mean that the tensions ain't high, man. China's one of America's enemies, man, even though, you know, they own a lot of America's debt, man. ultimately speaking, man, they're really allied to Russia, and they're going to come up against America also. Yeah? Ultimately speaking, man, this world is going to go through into a stage of darkness. So you can feel it if you're in the spirit. Verse 8 says, all these are the beginnings of sorrows, talking about the earthquakes, the pestilences. Hey, Venezuela, man, hell, them man, they are catching hell. Hell. Haiti, they've been catching hell for ages. A lot of these West Coast countries, man, where Jake are at, man, a lot of suffering. Why? Because we're living in the last days, man. And the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is coming. Joel 3:2 says, I will gather all nations and I will bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat. I mentioned earlier that relates to Yahweh Shaphat, meaning the Most High's judgment. I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. Now, when it says he's going to plead with them, it means that he's really and truly, he's going to deal with them, man. The Most High is going to judge those nations, man, being Esau primarily, and really all of the other nations, all of the other 17 nations outside of Israel that at some point in time have had their hands on us, man. All of them are going to have to account. All of them are going to have to give answers. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to judge them, man. And there's going to be a lot of death. The army's going to be literally recruiting in mass numbers, man, women and children also. And ultimately speaking, anyone that's in the army, the special forces, the police, you're going to get drafted, man. You're going to be drafting people on a mad one. And if you join the army, man, you're just joining to die, man. Because if you don't die at the hand of one of the enemy forces, you're going to die at the hand of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Ultimately speaking, Proverbs 11:21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Wicked primarily being these damn devils, these Edomites, but also the wicked of not just the other nations, but our own people, man. You're going to die with the devil, man, if you want to follow through with Satan. Isaiah 30, the 3rd verse, man, you know, woe to them that go down to Egypt, man, and trust in chariots, because there are many. The scripture says that your trust in Pharaoh shall be your shame. You got to understand the level of judgment that's going to come on the earth. Only the Lord's going to be able to save you from that, man. Because there's going to be real spiritual intervention, man. Hey, man. Daniel's 12:1, I'm going to finish with this, says, and at that time, meaning the end, shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. He's Michael being one of the archangels, man, one of the 4 archangels, with also Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel making up the other 3. Yeah? And it says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time shall thy people be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Only the elect are going to get saved from this judgment, man. The chess pieces are being played. And it said there will be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation on the planet Earth. Because a lot of these nations out here, man, have got nuclear technology. Those nukes were made to be used. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to make sure that those nukes are used. We're not going to have them in the kingdom of Israel talking about, yeah, this was Esau's weaponry. Hey, man, they're going to be used, man. Every single one of them. America's going to be totally decimated. But a lot of these wicked-ass capital cities, the Londons and, you know, the Parises and the rest, they're going to get it also, man. A lot of judgment is going to come down on the planet Earth. And it's all the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That World War III is going to kick off, man. It really is going to kick off. Yeah? Hey, man. Israeli warplanes over Lebanon. Oh, man. Barakafar Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakwakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, and Shalom. This thing is real, man. You know, brothers been prophesying this for a minute, but it's really coming to fruition now. Stay strong, brothers, man. Stay strong, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Ra'azah, we all make it, Lord willing. We be members of that elect. Shalom. Shalom.